things are live. I probably won't be looking a lot at chat, but I will try and keep my eye on it. So, thanks for joining me. Alright, so the other day, this MK2 stopped printing with the gnome on the bed, and it was hot, and the nozzle was sitting right there. And I believe it's due to somehow Octoprint on my Raspberry Pi disconnecting and then reconnecting, and when it does, it resets the printer. And when I came to the printer, the screen was all boxes, you know, like it does when it resets or you upload firmware and stuff. And that was not good. That was not exciting to see. So what happened was, it was still hot, and I hit, it was, filament was still in there, so I hit retract the filament, and it did retract, but it broke off right at the top of the throat. And I've got the wrong wrench here, so I'll be right back. So now we got to try and get the filament out of the throat. I've done this before. I'm going to try something different this time. The way I've done it before is basically disassemble the whole extruder assembly, pull the hot end out, heat it up, and push something down in there to push the filament through. What I think I'm going to do today is, let's see, can you see the top of the extruder? No. Get you where you can see that. That's pretty good. So I'm going to undo the tension screws for the extruder idler, so I can flip that open, so I can get something down inside the tube easily. Or if I have to, I'll push back up. So first of all, I'm going to undo these, and we'll release the tension off of that so I can get at it a little better. Let's see, Allen wrenches are over here. Before I get anything hot, we'll do what we can. This may be blocked a little bit, but sorry. Working around these cameras is just going to add another frustration factor to everything, but that's okay. I'll try to keep from throwing things. So I can pull that out, put that in my little box of organization down here. Trying to do this without dislodging the little gnome that has printed for so many hours already, because I'd like to resume it. Okay, we're looking pretty good there. Let's see. See if I've got a chunk of welding rod. Do I have some welding rod or welding rod wire? Where would I have that? I know I've got some brass wire. Comes on a coil. Can I get it straight enough? Whoa. Boy. So just undid the coil of wire, and it's expanding as we speak. Let's see. There's an end. Well, first, let's figure out what 20 gauge is in millimeters. Where are those calipers at? Must have taken them out here where I was working on the Zone Star. So the trick, I got to straighten this coil of wire to get a piece of straight wire, and the trick to straightening wire is basically clamp one end in a vise and pull for all you're worth to stretch the wire a bit and straighten it out. So let me cut a piece off and we'll go, I got my vise out here, we'll go do that. By the way, 20 gauge is 032 wire, and 1.75 is 064-ish. So it's not totally straight, but it's pretty straight. So basically I clamped this hooked in a vise, wrapped that around a file that I had, and lifted straight up until you can feel the wire give just a little bit, and when it gives, you know that's as much as you need to pull, and it'll be pretty darn straight. A lot straighter than the coily wire that it was to begin with. So then you can clip off the coily ends, or keep the coily end as a handle, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to save that extra straight piece, so that gives me a little poker that I can go up from this end. Now I can't get it through the nozzle because it's too big for the nozzle, so the next step is we're going to heat up the nozzle. Temperature. It's funny that Joseph Prusa just put out a video on this today about not this particular problem, but changing nozzles basically. So we're gonna go. He goes to 285. I don't go that hot. 245 is plenty fine. Make sure the bed's out of the way. And let's go back to the info screen so I can see hot it's getting. So we've already unloaded our filament. Yeah, and it's time for a new fan, but I really need to reprint all of these orange pieces back up in here on the extruder. I noticed that so I reprinted the green part because this was sagging and it was cracked and stuff. And I noticed the other day something was going on up here, and I thought, oh, I should replace that. But I'm waiting for my MK2S and MK2.5 upgrade, and that will replace all of this stuff anyway, give me a new Noctua fan. So I'm trying to limp this along till that gets here, which will give me the new fan shroud and everything else. We're at 205. Okay. Probably open that one more channel. There we go. Just hold on to it lightly. Huh? Did I get the wrong one? Oh, 8mm. I want the 8mm. Come here, you. 7. 7. 7's the one I want. I don't know. I think my Volkswagen Beetle was easier to work on. Yes, and he says use a socket, which would be nice. What a gunky nozzle. Who owns this printer? Don't you own a wire brush, dude? Okay. Nah, it came out. It's hanging in there by all the gunky stuff that's on it. So now I've got access to the bottom. Let's see if I can. Well, that seems clear most of the way up, other than coming out of there. Yeah, my wire goes all the way through. Well, what's the problem the other day when I tried to do this and it wouldn't go through there? Who knows? That needs some severe cold pullage. But while it's still hot, we're gonna put it back in there, maybe-ish. Don't get it cross-threaded. Maybe I'll go get a socket. socket with a short extension. Hold the block. Tighten that up. Okay. So far so good. Let's try and feed some filament through there. Got a little pokey wire. Let's where my cutters go. Let's trim this off. I could have sworn there was stuff stuck down in there, but maybe not. Seems to be okay. That okay. Alright. Well, let me put this back in there. We'll just hit cool out, preheat, cool down. Let that cool off. We can reassemble the tensioners. Sorry if I'm in your way. Put all the wrenches that I didn't need back in there. And 4 turns. Let's see how that feels. Maybe that's what I noticed was going wrong with it the other day. Could be. That could be a problem. Okay. Well, so much for that. Yeah. I said I was going to have to reprint some stuff. Alright, well, we'll finish the gnome and we'll get some of that reprinted. Alright, next. Since that's good, groovy. Well, who we got in chat? Let's check chat for a little bit. Hey, EV3D, yay! And Mike, Ryan. Oh. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm happy that anybody's watching. So, basically the print stalled, Octoprint disconnected, and left the hot end sticking to the gnome. Here's the error messages on communication error, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. So it stalled the print and left the hot end on the end. I thought that it was jammed because I couldn't get the filament through there, but we just took the nozzle off, checked that, everything's good. So once I figure out the height that I've got to be at, so that just reset the printer every time I connect to the printer, which I don't understand why Octoprint has to do that, because I can connect and disconnect with printer face. It doesn't reset the printer. unless there's a setting somewhere that I'm missing, that would keep it from doing that. I just don't know. Anyway, now what we got to do is figure out what height we were at. So I've already zeroed this. Now, did it keep that 0? Settings, move axis, move Z. Yeah, it thinks it's at 0. So what I need to do is go back in and yeah, when Octoprint does its thing, and get to calibration. So then we're going to go auto home. And I know it'll miss the print, so that's why I can use this auto home. No problem. And then, yeah, it's not hitting anywhere. I'm going to auto home it again. Make sure that it's right. Then I'm going to move my axis. Move Z up. And I believe we're around 50. We'll see. Settings, disable steppers so I can slide this guy forward. Calipers, which need a battery, but that's okay. Use my calipers to measure the height. And it says we're at 34.6. So if I move, move my axis, move Z, 34, and I don't have a way to go just a little step, but we'll go to 35. And I'm going to move X. And 35 looks too high. Z, and 34 is too low, so Z at 35 is fine. So 34.6 was our magic number. Main, back. So now I get to edit some code on the laptop. It's supposed to be yeah, hey Dave. It's supposed to be a gnome cookie jar. It's on My Mini Factory. I don't know that they have numbers like Thingiverse, so let's get over here and edit some resume code. 34.6. Let me see if you can see this pretty good-ish. Not really, but that's probably about as good as you're going to get with this camera setup. Alright, so right here I've got my gnome body resume G code. I'm going to download that because that's what I just printed. So this print has already been resumed one time. It's going. Alright, so we got our gnome body G code. Let's go in here, show in folder. I'm going to edit that with Notepad++. So where I started last time was 2.7 millimeters. So I add this G-code into my slicer profile. No, I don't want to save that. Let's search. So I'm searching for the word layer. We're going to find 34.6 is the number we're looking for, or somewhere thereabouts. And we're at 29, 33, 34.2, 34.5, 34.8. That looks like our right layer right there. So put my cursor right there at the beginning of the line. We can close the search box. I'm going to go back to the top and hold shift when I click right here on that first layer line, select all of that and delete all of the rest of that. Now the next thing I have to do is look for the Z line where it moves in Z. So at G1 Z 35.5, right? But we're actually printing at 34.8, but this is a Z hop move. So I want to take and copy this line and put it right here. And I don't know why my Control V is not working. Okay. So that, because you see here, the first move is an X and a Y move and a extruder retract and yada yada yada, and then it moves in Z. Well, part of the first thing we're going to do is come down and home in X and Y. So we want to be Z above our height and then home and then move out to the print and then move down and start our print. So down here, where is it? Z of 34.8, that's going to move us down and get us printing again. So have I mentioned how much I hate tablets with touchpads at any time? There, save that. So now we can close that and close that. And we can take this gnome body resume G code and upload it back again to the Octoprint. I don't know how tall this model is. So now I'm going to just load that in there. And I'm going to go to the G code viewer because I'm curious. Well, we won't render that. Fine. Well, what we're going to do is just hit print. Boop. And it's going to come up to temp. And we're done with that now. So let's go back over here to temperature and we can watch the temp. You don't have to watch that. I'm going to move the camera back over. We'll get two cameras going watching a gnome print. Okay, so one camera view is this camera. The other camera's the life cam there. That should give you a pretty good view of what's happening. Muscle Man Toys, do they make a 3D scanner? Hey Def, I don't know who you, who makes a 3D scanner for cheap? There's a Cyclop, which I haven't seen a huge amount of great results out of that thing. If I was the Imscan SE would be my choice, but I can't justify $1,200 for a scanner that I want to use for one project. So would love to have a scanner. I make N-scale 3D models, little cars and things. Let's see if I can add. Did I bring those? Where did I put those? Oh, they're in the house. I'll be right back, but I'm going to add another camera here. Plus video capture device. Well, let's see if it's. Oh, that looks pretty darn good for height-wise. Let's see how it looks. Pretty well aligned for center-wise. I'd say that's a successfully resumed print. It's got a little, just a little bit of mismatch. That could be squish out from it already printed those two perimeters and I just printed over top of them again, which is always a possibility. That's what happened way down here at the bottom at the 2.7 millimeter mark. But that's okay. A little bit of sanding or cleanup. And this is not going to be a cookie jar. This is going to be a yard ornament. But they could hide their keys or something in it. Put a laser camera. Something. I'll be right back. Okay. Let me see if I can add this one here. Video capture device. And my audio. Looks like my audio's down a little bit, but it's probably okay. That's the one I wanted. Okay. Let me move those two guys up. Make this a little bit bigger. Here. supposed to look like that. The center is a spinner. Email stuff, whatever. Didn't give any away, but what I want to show you guys, talking about miniatures, 3D scanning and stuff. So I do N-scale trains, and one of the things that I've been working on is vehicles. Not great quality as far as surface finish. Can you do that? Can you? No. Really? Really? You can't focus that. No, you can't. Tell me that. Really slow. Alright. So, but you get an idea. And basically I was making these because I need to have a junkyard full of old cars that are covered with moss and whatnot. And they're decent, you know. I mean, it's recognizable as a Ford pickup. And you buy these out of the hobby shop or whatever. Yeah, they're painted and everything, but probably $9 for a set of 2 of them. And for a junkyard where you need 20 kind of similar trucks and stuff, that racks up pretty fast. So these are off of SketchUp 3D Warehouse, and they were not watertight models to begin with. I put probably 20 hours a piece into the camper and the truck, but blackberry bushes or whatever and give it some weathering. It would look like a junk car. This one is supposed to be an old Mercury. Come on. You know you can do it. You've done it before. Get it to focus back here. Spin on it. Whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. It's like an old Fairlane Mercury, something like that. That was a SketchUp one. Old Volkswagen bus. Still needs some cleanup and work. Originally printed with the mirrors, but I managed to bust them off while I was getting the supports off of it. But, I mean, you can tell it's a Volkswagen bus. Another truck. That was a Chevy. Nope, that wasn't a Ford bus. Chevy in here. Oh, Ford truck with a tailgate. So these are all SketchUp models that I've made printable. Bulldog box fan. Oh. Any Suburban. Yeah. The other one. this guy's 150 by 142 by 127.69 tall. So at 30, yeah, we're less than a quarter away done with it. So yeah, he's got a ways to print. And I thought, this is several hours of printing that's already gone into it. I thought it was a shame to throw all that away. That puts something on it. Especially if it's not loose from the bed. Now, it gets tricky. This is a big print with a big flat bottom and well stuck on there. It gets tricky, like if it fails again and it's taller up and if it adds support, it might be kind of iffy to get it started and get it going again. But it can be done as long as you have, like if your printer shuts off, your model is too big or you don't have clearance at the front to re-home the thing. Then what you have to do is like position your extruder, get it to the right height, and measure it with calipers, and then use like the honor face to tell it what the Z height is, not only the Z. You do that too. That's a little bit more advanced, but it can be done, and you can save a print. The funny thing is that I had to do a Z home. Back on here. So the hat for this gnome also stalled, or print canceled in the middle, but it was not because of the printer, it was because of me getting confused over which session, which Octoprint I was connected to, and I canceled the wrong one because I thought, oh man, the printer stalled, but Octoprint's still going. Well, no, it was the other printer. So, you're going to be able to see it. There. It's really dark. In here, right there, there's a lip. It's worse on this side. This was in Y. This was printed on the MK2, and it rehomed, but it shifted. You can see it shifted a little bit. There's a little lip right here. But I can sand that off on the back side and it should still fit in there and make a lid for the, you can see the shift right there. The light, there it is. So yeah, you can see that line in the compressor, that's the layer shift. When it restarted this print. But being as it's a hat, it fits into the hole in his head, and you're not going to see it. If I can sand it down to get it to fit in the hole, it's going to be all groovy. Ports up in here. Yeah. The air supports, I think, work reasonably well. I don't have a problem with them. It does let some things get a little bit tricky, but you know what? It cleans up. I have more realistic expectations of what the printers can do. Yes, they can make perfect prints, but also there's always some post-processing that needs to go on. expect. Plus or minus 15 thou. Actually, I'd say less than 15 thousandths. Plus or minus 7 thousandths, which would be 0.8-ish millimeters. I would expect as a reasonable accuracy, and that's not tolerance. Tolerance is, I would say, that's accuracy. So if I call out something to be 2 millimeters or 20 millimeters, dead on the nose, you might be able to do better than 0.8. Say 0.4, 0.2. Probably not a lot better than 0.2 without a lot of tuning and knowing your exact filament tuning for that filament. But to get it repeatable over multiple filaments, that's a tall order, because 0.2 millimeters is 8 thousandths, and normal machining tolerance, they give you American machining, if they give you a 3-bit place decimal, it's typically plus or minus 5 thousandths. 0.1. That's typical tolerance of a machine grain. Some companies it's tighter than that, but that's typical. Or plus or minus 2 thousandths, which is 0.05, right? 0.05 millimeters. And that's a tighter tolerance, but that is still what you call a sliding fit. So one part was meant to, half an inch, and you're going to put a half-inch hole. So you have a plus 2 thousandths tolerance on the hole, minus nothing, and a minus 2 thousandths on the tag or block or whatever it is that goes into the hole. So that would be a minus tolerance plus that. You've got a whole 2,000. That's not an unreasonable tolerance. And even if they were side by side, came out exactly a half-inch hole, and the peg was exactly a half-inch, they're not going to slide together. It's going to be a press fit, and it's a size-on-size press. But you probably can still get the parts together. Okay, anyway, so usually, like if you want to slip fit, you want to size it so that there is clearance between the parts of at least 1.5 to 2 thousandths. 2 thousandths would be a sliding fit. 1.5 would be a snug sliding fit. So that doesn't take much to change the fit. 1/2 thousandths would be a very good. Technically, it's a sliding fit, but it's more of a push fit. They call it push fit. You can push the part in, but it's going to be hard to get it out. It's not, if it's a blind bore, where there's not a hole all the way through, yeah, you can have a hard time getting that part back out. Okay, there's the gnome hat. Get all the supports removed. So bring on the i3 Mark III, and I have not done any tuning. No tuning to the slicer. So you can see that there are a small row of little zits not seeing the extrusion issues. People have been posting about the same thing. I think most of this texture is in the print. It's polygons or whatever in the print. So I consider that a real reasonable, just looking at it in the light here. Stupid camera focus. It's not a bad time. Got some texture to it. It's not super smooth, which is all the dragons inside. The dragons came out and they are just glossy. Super smooth. So the texture on this is in the print. Enough of me rambling. I'll leave this up and printing. I'm happy. As long as it keeps printing. As long as my lid fits, that's the part that's going to work. Big tool. Clean up after myself, put all my tools away. Save my little pokey wire. My little toolbox. Whoops, sorry. Good laughs. Okay. No gonna have a time lapse with this one. Says it's got 12 hours left to print. Okay. Well, maybe I won't leave the stream running because it'll probably error out and I'll probably have 15 streams on my stupid channel. So I don't want that. But I'm happy that we got it solved. We're at 37.5 millimeters, so obviously it's printing well. I'm gonna make some coffee. It's about 2 o'clock now. I got up early to go with my dad and pick up his crab pots. Had them dipped over in Portland. They're vinyl dipped, and they turned out real nice. Alright, I'm going to put my tools away, then we'll shut the stream off. No, it's not very long. I may start another stream if I feel like getting out here and fiddling with the zone stuff. I don't have anything to print on the seats today. Let that go. An hour? dang it, Prusa. Give me my 2.5 upgrade. So oh well, I suppose I gotta do it. I think it's only 3 bullets. Pull the tensioners under the thing that the extruder motor's hooked to. That'll let that slide free. Yeah. Alright. Let's do that. I don't want it in the stinking red though. I'm gonna print it in. We do have that crazy green. I've never tried it. I want to see this. Oh, do I dare? Try it. Sure. What the hell? What's the worst that could happen? Another broken thing. Alright, let me go see if I've got the files. Or Prusa, I312 SPL. Idler? That's the least. Okay. That's the part that I want. Hang on, let's get back to 4-in-1. Let's get rid of the image. Let's get the window capture back up. See the software back up. Alright, so we got the CETA software. We get Slicer back up. Oh, I gotta make a new Prusa PET. And we're gonna go to filament settings. Blah blah blah. Cooling. Don't need to do that. So I'm going to save this as Cetus. All right, so we got that. Infill, I want to go 60% infill. Perimeters, we're going to go 3 perimeters. 5 and 4, that's fine. 5. Skirt and brim. Well, we'll print it with a brim. Speed, I think we're good. So now we'll add our model. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. We can show you what I'm doing. Let's go back over here and change this to this one. Yeah, there, you'll kind of see it. All right, get back over here. Prusa, where are you? R2, extruder idler. There we go. Is that up off the bed? Really? Well, that's not the way I want it. Oh no, it's not up off the bed. Yeah, that's the way we want it. Okay, so let's slice that, and we'll look at it in preview, because that's what I always do. You're right, sure you do. Okay, that looks okay. I'm going to save that G code into extruder idler G code, save that. And now we're going to head back over. Let me put the Cetus back up there. We got to get in here. First of all, let's turn on the printer. And refresh, connect to it. Print, initialize the printer. Get you guys where you can see a little bit of what's going on, maybe. Kinda. Probably can't even hear me with the printer because I'm getting audio from up there. Let me switch that. Oh, no. Yeah, you're on. Okay, we're on the right camera. Well, you let me know if it changed or if it's goofy or whatever. All right, so now I got to get the old filament out. So get that drawing. Get my spool of PETG. I'm going to put it on the rack back here. Okay. Glue stick. I don't know about PETG on build tack, but I know on PEI it likes to stick too much, so we're going to put down a fresh coat of glue on here. Get this somewhat smoothed off. just give it a nice coat over the whole thing. All right, sounds like we're retracting. We'll give it a little help. There it is. Whoops. Okay. Well, you guys are okay, right? Everybody all right? It wasn't too bad. Oh, what the? Great. Yeah, I wish there was a. I wish there was a lock to keep the plug-in plugged in. Whoops. Where's my CETUS window? All right. Connect to that again. Sheesh. All right. So now I've got to go in and configure it and tell it a customized material. I'm going to delete, I'm going to add PETG 237, platform at 50 should be fine because we don't have heated platform. Confirm. 700 grams? Sure, why not? That looks like 700 grams to me. Okay, snip that off. Push this up the tube without knocking the camera over. Okay, so far so good. Hit extrude. It's a little bit hot, so maybe it'll make it through there in no time. Never tried pinning PETG on this. I always thought it would make a nice little PETG printer, but we'll see how it does. I know you guys can't see anything. There. We're waiting for the hot end to come up to temp. And 70. it's going. Let's see if it makes it through the. Oh, made it into the extruder or into the nozzle. Let's see if it comes out the other side. Comes the PLA in red. I'm probably going to do a double extrude because what I've always had is layer adhesion issues if I don't do a clean purge switching from PLA to the ETG. So I'm going to hit extrude again. It should go pretty quick. Yep. We'll make it back up on itself here a little bit. See if we can get the curl going. Basically, I just want to see how well the hot layers stick to each other. Okay. I'm still seeing a little bit of red there. And that's not sticking too well. Let's do another one. This is like the wackiest 3D pen you've ever seen. Well, it's extruding nicely. Nice clean bead. That's starting to stick together. All right, I think we're ready. Say okay, and then find my file. Extruder idler G code. So let's hit plus, downloads. There's i3 Mark II, idler G code. Yes, go for it. Okay, we're already hot, but it's going to cool off while it sends the file to the printer, unfortunately. Well, it's a pretty quick file. So we're only at 161 degrees, so that's not too bad. Sure you can see. Oh, let's aim down. Yeah, that's not going to hit anything. I'm 98. Okay, here comes the Comes the nozzle. Let's see if we get a first layer. It'd be so awesome if we get it right on the first time. Now this might be a little too much squish. I don't know. We'll find out. Not looking like it's... Oh, yeah, that's... probably too much squish. Oh, did it heat up the right amount? Yep, we're there. Okay, so that's too close. Okay, go back. Slicer, printer. Eight. Okay. Let's send that again. Still hot. We're still hot. And I think you can print PETG on a cold bed. That's what I've heard. Anybody know? Anybody in the chat? PETG on an unheated bed. Any advice, anybody? So, let's see. Wait. Tweezers here. Okay. PETG is sort of oozy. Come on. Come on, baby. Do I not have it set? Okay. This could be the problem. I think I know the problem. Filament settings. Yeah, that's the problem. Save that. Okay. Let's cancel this. I forgot about that. So the Cetus is weird. So when I switched filaments, extrusion steps are handled by the extrusion multiplier on the Cetus talking to Slick 3R software. So let's try that. Slice it now. Export. Yes. Yes. Back to Cetus. Add. That. Go. Go. Yes. Yes. Okay. It's a pretty fast send. Still pretty hot. PTG seems to like to stick to almost everything. So, should be okay. If we get the extrusion multiplier fixed and I keep the nozzle clean. $225. There we go. Let's see if this works. Come on, baby. You can do it. Now, what are you doing? What are you doing under there? Wadding up. Okay. Too high. Yep. Too high. That 0.1 is too much. Let's get back in here. Slice. Export. Save. Yes. See this. Plus. Plus. That. Open. Yes. Okay, we dropped it another 0.1. And we're at 177. Sitting on the floor so I can see this thing. Yeah, this will be the first part that I print for my Prusa. It wasn't printed on the Prusa. Okay, get that off of there. Come on, stick. Oh, I think that looks pretty good. So then you're pushing that a ball around now. What did you do? Fortunately, that's what a brim is for, right? Make sure you're getting what you want. I think that could go down another 0.5. Yep. Okay. Let's drop that. It's sticky, but yeah, could go down another 0.5. 0.05, not 0.5. 0.05. Okay. Here, add that, add that. Doot, doot. Yes. Just a smidge more squish to it. Okay, down to 178 this time. About the same. Cools off pretty fast, I guess. So that's one thing I'll have to Google is see if anybody's talked to the Cetus with something like Pronterface or regular programs. I wonder if it's possible to send it G-code straight from Slick3R or Cura or Simplify. Simplify, I know they've sent G-code, but I don't know if they've actually talked to the printer directory. I think you still have to go through the Cetus software. Okay. Another 0.05 for squash. Oh yeah. That's looking much better. And I know you're probably not supposed to run as much fan as we've got going on the print for PETG, but that's the way the Cetus prints. You don't have a choice because it's one cooling fan cooling the hot end, the cold end, and the print. Which for PLA, it works extremely well. I'm very happy with the way this little thing prints. So, quite the amazing deal. It's too bad they're raising the price to like $300 or whatever it is. This I bought when they were still kickstarting it for $199. It would be nice if it had a heated bed, but you know, for $199, that was amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go see who's knocking at the door out here. What's going on? Maybe just the neighbor moving her stuff around in her shed, her yard debris. She was out there mowing her lawn a little bit ago. So yeah, went over with my dad, got his crab pots. He brought me like 6 little kokanee. I'm going to barbecue up tonight in a couple hours. That will be delicious. So at work, we have a term for all the drama that goes on with machines and whatever. It's another episode of As the Spindle Turns. But what would be the daytime drama for 3D printing? As the nozzle, I don't know. As the extruder grinds, as the nozzle clogs, as the A-net catches fire. Okay, a little bit stringy and hairy for the bottom layer, but it did fill in. Oh, I see a little lump that it's catching there, but that's okay. It'll level out. I don't think this is a very long print. Shouldn't be. It's not that big of a part. Maybe an hour-ish. Yes, and I did do 3 perimeters on this thing, just to help give it some extra strength. And it's only 3 bottom layers. It is 60% infill, so that may take a little bit, but no, that's looking good. Let's see what you guys can see. See if you guys can see it. I may move the camera for you. Well, if we can get you a little closer, because it is a small print. As long as I remember not to get it so close that the thing hits my camera arm. I got you in shadow right there. As long as the head can clear when it goes home, we're good. Okay, so this should be the last bottom layer. Oh yeah, that's looking all right. Looking at it from this side, it's looking pretty darn sharp. Oh, I don't know. That's an infill. I know nobody's watching, but for anybody that's watching this later, that's the extruder idler arm for the Prusa i3 Mark II, because I broke it while I was restarting the orange gnome over there. So since I had some of this green PETG left over, thought I'd print it in that so all the parts match. Besides, if I print this, I still have to replace it, but you know that as soon as I replace that, I'll get a shipment notice from Prusa that my Mark 2.5 upgrade is coming. So it's a good thing I'm printing this. Isn't that the way it works? Oh boy. Something happening. Is there a step or something there? Oh yeah, it was filling in. Oh, so it's the start of the cross hole. Well, I would say that PETG on the Cetus is not a problem. I mean, this is a small print, so we don't know about warping or lifting on a larger print, but seems pretty good. Took us a couple tries to get the first layer height right. I'm glad it can handle that temperature. Um, that That makes it a much more useful little machine. And the soothing sounds of a Prusa i3 Mark II at work. There might be a little bit of curling. Maybe. Let's see. The tab end looks really good, farther away from the camera. No, I think that's just the chamfer on the bottom that I'm seeing. I don't think it's actually curling. Okay, we're seeing the first little bit of the hole that goes through. Anybody else get this nervous when they print a new material on their printer for the first time? Gotta watch it all the way through. Not like it's a critical part or anything. Always start with something simple to test your first print with. Not like anything you really need. Sure. And then don't see the little circle that's up on the thumb tab yet. Starting. Yep, and it started raining here. 44 millimeters. Awesome. 80 some more millimeters to go. Maybe that's a better angle. I don't know. Stupid thing doesn't want to focus. I don't care where you put it. Oh, needless fish hook guardrails. Well, there's only two watching, so once the Prusa part's done, I will probably end the stream. But thanks for riding along. Had fun. We learned some things. Got some printers back online. Recovered a print. Printed PETG. So far, it looks successfully on the Cetus. We've got another set of parameters and another material dialed in that I can slice and print with. Which is always cool. And that means when it comes time to reprint, because I am going to reprint all the parts for my mostly printed CNC in PETG, just because it seems they hold up a little bit longer to heat. And a little more resilient to being screwed together with screws. Yeah, this will give me another printer to print parts with, which is sweet. But we'll cut the time down. First time I printed, I only had the i3 Mark II, and so that took a week of printing.
Okay, seeing the little patches where the holes for the idler bearing shaft is going to go. Those are starting. What are you doing? What are you breaking? What are you breaking? Oh. Okay, Z at 45. I'm going to stop this because it's not good. It's not supposed to be doing that. Okay, so we're at Z at 45. What the heck, dude? Okay, well, I know what this means is I'm not going to use Octoprint if it prints anymore because I can't trust it with this machine. Vibration. I don't know. Six, 5. Alright. So 45. 6. Hold the SD card. I already have this file saved on this computer. Folder. So I'm going to edit this file there. Okay, save that off. And save it on to SD card. Close that. Close that. Then you should be able to bring this over here. Put an SD card. Not even zoom. Right? It's just when you think everything's going right, it moves like any bag. Just polish up that nozzle a little bit. Some of the gunk out of there. heating to heating 0. I must have the wire, maybe. What you did? What was the way up there? Alright, let's see what happens. Check the Z this time. 09, 10, homing. Yeah. Okay. Upprint. Yes. Obviously something's going. Payback with this SD card maybe? Whoops. Sorry. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Let's save. Nobody resume. Okay, then you can copy it over. Take that. Copy to there. Place the file. Says it was complete. Pull that out. Back in. Oh, we're having some fun times now, huh? Oh, I'm going to type something. Hey, Mad Mike. Never printed with PG. Okay. Never printed with PETG. Well, you should try it sometime. It's a little stringy, but once you get your printers dialed in, it's pretty awesome. And it seems like glue stick works fine. I'm not sure how printing PETG onto just bare build tech would work, or if you'd ever get it loose, or if it would actually stick. But... All right, Prusa, I'm gonna go. Start printing. So that's weird. It sets the temperature to 0 and stops. Let's see. It must be something that I did wrong. Edited this thing. hope. Let's hope. That was it. Weird line. Oh, you're right. All we need now is thunder showers and power outage, and we'll be trifecta. I need to do it. Have faith in me. I'll complete it. Does it work the same as my machines at work? If I keep nothing, or do I have to start covering them? Right, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7, 8. One. Turns the heat off. That's what I don't get. It's turning the heat off. And even to the position. And then it sets the heat to 0. To me, that seems wrong. Right? Let's every one that I have on the hard drive, let's edit them on the phone SD card. Maybe that's the connection, disconnect off the thing. Maybe that's what. Why is off the thing? Disconnected or reconnected? But I don't think the code is faulty at all. I think it's off the thing. Interfering. Okay. So we bridged over the top. We're not doing or top layers yet. Got our little arm, got this little thumb grippy hole thingy in there. I don't even remember what our part looks like. Let's go back to Slicer and check it out. Oh yeah, it's pretty much flat on top. Yeah. That sounds like a top layer to me. Oh, not quite. No, it's just building out for the top layer. Not too much further to go though on that one. All right, let's see. Now work this side up. Yeah. It was off the print. Off the print. Why are you failing that? Okay, we're gonna have a gap. Maybe not. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's the marker print. Looks like I skipped a layer, but that's okay. It's fine. It's printed half a layer, so over here on this side, there's a little bit of a layer skip, but on this side, it's fine. So skipped a layer of infill, but oh well. That's all right. Nobody will see it, as long as it doesn't break in half. Okay, and the print continues. I think that's the top layer. Sweet. All right, this is looking good. One more layer. So a couple things that I really like about the Prusas and most of the printers with a display. So this one has wireless connectivity, the Cetus, but no display on it, no control panel. You have an on-off button and this button on the front that you could push it or push it and hold it, or push it and hold it longer, and it does different things. Or if you push it once and hold it, and then push it again, that's something different. Kind of a weird interface system. But the Prusas, you can look at the display and see what layer they're on, and kind of get an idea of how far you are through your print or whatever. And with the Cetus, when you have the software connected and you're printing through their software, that all works fine. You can look at the layers, tell how many layers it's got, and whatever. But when you just send it a G-code file, there's nothing to tell you anything about what's going on with the printer, other than someday it will be done. So that someday is now. Let's see here. Oh, let's get this over that way. So there's the part. Let's see how this comes off. It's not a heated bed, so I mean, no need to wait for the part to cool, and it's definitely stuck on there. Glue stick did a nice job. Bottom looks, focus. There you go. Bottom looks nice. Got a little bit of glue stick residue, but that'll wash off. Brim, hole's a little elongated, but surface quality looks good. Not too stringy. I mean, there are some strings, but really not bad. Top surface looks good. I'd say that part is plenty strong. The brim should slice away. PETG is pretty nice to print with. Let's see here. Let's get you guys up. Give you a little wider view. Okay. PET is nice material to print with. It's not quite as brittle as PLA, and it's not super high temp. I mean, 237 is maybe some of the Teflon tube hot ends can't quite go that high, but that's this brand. This is Inland, and that's just the temperature that I've found that works for this. I may see a little bit of adhesion issues on the first layers, but some of that can be attributed to PLA contamination. That's why I did a big purge when I put this in there. And that's what I found before, is you've got to purge it quite well to get all the PLA out, or that it'll bond to itself, but that little bit of PLA kind of tends to make the first layer or first little bit of it a little more brittle or something. It just doesn't quite adhere as well as the rest of the part does, but that goes away pretty quickly. And print a big brim or print a extra wide skirt, and you shouldn't have problems with that. Or just do a really big purge, maybe, I don't know, 50 millimeters of filament would give you enough purge to get pretty much all the PLA out of there. I mean, it's going to, you're well above the melting point of PLA, and give the chance for the PETG to kind of scrub it out, possibly doing some retract and repurge kind of a thing to get get the sides where filament kind of mushrooms out a little bit when you retract and repush, get it to scrub that out a little bit better. But no, that's a good part. The little retract marks, it's not super smooth on the top. There's little pimples on the top where the start stops were, but I mean, just a quick shave with a X-Acto, you get rid of all the roughness. And get rid of anything that might hang up. Yeah, there we go. Not bad. A little bit of things here on the bottom where it was trimming. But yeah, that's all right. That should be a good strong part. It's got a little bit of flex, but maybe it'll hold up. I mean, that orange part's that I broke is a year old, or a little over. Yeah, kind of sliced into it there, but yeah, that'll be all right. It'll match my other pieces. Okay. Well, hope everybody had a good time. I'm thirsty, so I'm going to run to the store and pick up something to drink. This has had enough time to cool down. Yeah. Shut that off. All right. And you guys have a good day. What's that? Yes.